In this visual, you can see this is right after the stampede happened, about 2 hours or so. Allu Arjun, the actor, was seen leaving the theatre around 11:45 p.m. on the day, which was the 4th of December. The police claim that the actor refused to leave the theatre even after he was told about the overwhelming crowds outside. He insisted on watching the film, but however was forced to leave the premises as the situation spiraled out of hand. The police also said that we had informed him about the stampede that took place at about 9:30 right then, but he refused to leave and instead went inside the theatre. A charge, of course, Allu Arjun has denied. Now, the entire fallout of this episode has reached Allu Arjun's doorstep quite literally. Some persons holding placards in their hands suddenly rushed to the residence of the actor in Jubilee Hills yesterday. They started sloganeering. One of them even mounted the compound and started throwing tomatoes and stones. The man handled the security personnel. They damaged some flower pots before eventually they were overpowered by the security guards. But what has turned heads is an alleged political link to that vandalism. Upping the ante against the Congress, both the BJP and the BRS have alleged that the attack at Allu Arjun's residence is what they claim is state-sponsored. The Congress, however, has refuted that charge. They claim that the opposition is only supporting this accused celebrity, is what the state called him, for political gains. BJP and BRS allege that the actor is being targeted by the Arivind Reddy government after he refused to campaign for the Congress party. Hitting right back, the Congress countered it by calling it nothing but political drama by both of their rivals. Doubling down on the attack, the BJP and BRS even released a picture of one of the accused, Reddy Srinivas, with Telangana Chief Minister. The accused is a Congress leader. He's a youth Congress president from Kodangal. He's also contested a 2019 Zilla Parishad elections on a Congress ticket. But the Congress turned around and said, but look where he came from. It was the BRS that initially had him, from which he turned over to the Congress's side. In fact, the Congress went on to say that this particular accused is the disciple of KTR and called this allegation against the Congress party and the state government nothing but an attempt to defame them. Now, even as these charges fly thick and fast, it all comes down to a fierce face-off between the actor and the state government. The question really remains, and what we want to ask here on Plain Speak is that, is this political targeting of Allu Arjun?
మా ఇంటి బయట జరిగింది అంతా చూశారు మీరు. కానీ ప్రస్తుతం
going and then attacking is not acceptable. This kind of attitude by the Arivind Reddy government and the Telangana police is not acceptable.
We are not going to encourage anybody who would be doing that sort of thing. Definitely we would like to condemn, and action will be taken according to law.
Let's open this up. Rahul Sridhar Reddy, senior leader of the BRS. Srinivas Reddy, spokesperson of the Congress, is with us. Kasturi Shankar, an actor, will be joining us shortly. Deshadan Nigam, a lawyer and political analyst, is with us as well. Let me begin by asking Srinivas Reddy, this man who is accused of pelting stones and tomatoes at Allu Arjun's residence, is he a part of the Congress or not?
Good evening, Poonam. He is not part of the Congress party, and the party has got nothing to do with what this person has done. It is a clear-cut case of damaging the image of the party here in the state. And he appears to have taken photographs with the chief minister, which is being projected by the opposition parties. And that looks like a function, because any political leader would definitely take a photograph with someone who is coming over there. And the same way, there are photographs of the same person with the TRS leader, Mr. KTR also. That doesn't mean or imply that he is from the Congress. Our Congress has sponsored this thing, as is being told by almost all the opposition parties right now.
So are you saying he's not linked with the Congress party now, or that he's never been? Is it
He is
not true
not
that he
linked to
did
the
fight a
Congress
local
party
body
as of
election on a
now.
Congress ticket?
He is not linked to the Congress party as of now. The CM has very clearly and very openly condemned the incident immediately after that has taken place, because there is no scope for any person in a democracy to go against any person, to do vandalism, do rioting, house breaking. All these things cannot be tolerated and will not be tolerated in this government.
Ravula Reddy, he may have contested elections on a Congress ticket, but the Congress has nothing to do with this man as of this moment, as of 2024. It's just all a political witch hunt against the Congress by the BRS and the BJP combined, is the allegation they make.
No, not only on this Reddy Srinivas, there are 4 other guys whose photographs are there with Congress party top brass. Now, where from this has actually happened? Now you should look at the incidents. The police booked a case on Allu Arjun. He was arrested, then he was released on a bail. After that, when matter is subjudiced, Honorable Chief Minister delivered a lengthy speech in Assembly for close to 1.5 hours on one film actor who is accused in one of the cases on the stampede. Then film actor again explained his version, followed by this particular incident of attack. Now, what I'm questioning is, what is the need for the Chief Minister to go on saying, rather go on delivering speeches in Assembly when the matter was subjudiced? This has actually provocated. I don't know who these guys are. Their photographs are there with Congress party. One of the guys, that Reddy Srinivas, he has a photo with KTR, he has a photo with Revanth Reddy also. But that particular person is elected Youth Congress leader in their party, one of the guys. So end of the day, the speech of the Chief Minister and many statements by the Congress party leaders has rather provoked this group of people in the name of OUJSC, went and attacked the actor's residence. Now Congress party is claiming this is a blame game, BRS is doing this and all that. You gave the scope for them to do this. And attacks, vandalisms, violence is not, not at all accepted. This is not correct, and there is no space for this kind of acts in our society. And once the matter is subjudiced, when the police is doing their job, what is the need for these things, basically? Is Congress supporting such attacks on them? Whether it is a film star or anybody for that matter, you will have their family members in the home, and creating such a havoc and terror is not at all acceptable. This is not. These incidents actually today become a talk in the entire country and showing Telangana is poor plight, which is not correct. And the government should have maintained proper restraints. Rather, Honorable Chief Minister would have maintained some restraints.
Sure.
At some level, at your level, when a Chief Minister speaks on these things, definitely they will have impact. I am not trying to accuse directly, but at higher levels, at higher positions, we should have proper kind of, rather whatever, when you deliver such speeches, it's utmost important.
But he was surprising the state assembly. Deshadan Nigam, you can come in here as well. Is there something wrong in what the Chief Minister did? He was surprising the state assembly of what had happened. There were certain comments that were made by him, which according to the BRS, perhaps egged on these people to take law into their own hands.
Well, Poonam, in fact, when the matter has been taken by the court in their own hands and the police had taken action, registered a case, I think it should have been appropriate not to make any comments to, by which anybody can be instigated. That is the first principle. Even the courts have made a statement in their order that Mr. Arjun had a right to liberty and there was no malafide. And to maintain law and order is a job of the government. It is their absolute duty to ensure that the law and order is maintained. In this case, it appears, and this will be established by the inquiry, investigation and trial, who was at fault, because there are statements and counter statements from various sides and parties. And therefore, it is required that political parties should shy away from such kind of comments making and let the courts do their own job. And it certainly appears that this case has certain political connotations of the past Mr. Allu Arjun being a part of it or not a part of it being in the campaign. These are all questions that will be gone into by the court. And therefore, at this point of time, I think a lot of restraint is required, as was done by Mr. Allu Arjun's family, which made a statement with lot of self-restraint. And secondly, it is absolutely important for Telangana to ensure their actors who has a huge appeal, an all India appeal. Mr. Allu Arjun and others also have an all India appeal, and they are very successful actors, and they bring lot of revenue to their own state. And if you attack their actors, your revenue and economy will suffer. So you have to stand with your actors, and that's a very unfortunate incident that has happened. And I'm sure the states it will be a guiding lesson for state in the future to ensure that when the actors are going, to ensure law and order, because people will come. They are so popular, the huge crowds will come. And it has to be managed, and there has to be a proper coordination with the actors and their managers and team. And whether it was there or not, it is to be seen. However, these actors, again, I'm reiterating, bring huge amount of revenue for the state, having an all India appeal from north, south, east, and west. I am a huge fan of Allu Arjun, but despite that, the fact remains that an unfortunate incident happens, and which requires an impartial trial by the court, which it will do. However, let us not, give any kind of color to it, and people must refrain from making political comments on this subject.
Matter is sub judice, and let's let the courts decide. Srinivas Reddy, while all of this is happening, apart from the comments, there's also a video that was put out by the police, the CCTV footage of Allu Arjun being escorted out. Now, Allu Arjun says that when I was asked to leave, that's when I got up and left. I didn't even know that somebody had died. I only found out the next morning. But the state government says that he refused to leave, and we had to actually push him out at some point because the crowd was so unmanageable.
Yes.
But there was still a 2-hour gap in that. If the crowd was this unmanageable after the stampede had actually happened, after somebody had lost their lives, for 2 hours the actor was still inside. So if he had to be forced and pushed out, could it have been done even earlier?
Actually, Poonam, first of all, I would like to answer to the point of the CM's address in the assembly. The Chief Minister himself has not taken up this subject on his own and started discussing on that. The topic was raised in the assembly, so the Chief Minister, being also holding the home portfolio, had to answer this issue. And that is the reason that he had to give all the reasons about this subject. And as far as Allu Arjun being an actor, yesterday's case that these people vandalizing his house, both the subjects are matter of law and order in the state. Whether it is the stampede which has been caused by Allu Arjun's presence in the theatre, or the vandalism which has taken place at his house, definitely are issues which are which damage the reputation of the state, as well as the law and order situation cannot be left easily. So when there is a law and order situation, the government, the police has to step in and definitely use their discretion and file cases against, whether it is Allu Arjun, whether he is an actor. We did not discriminate there, nor yesterday when these people, the so-called OUJAC, as they call themselves, have come and vandalized the actor's house. They have also not been spared, and they were arrested, and they have also been booked under various cases, sections of the BNS. And there are some bailable and non-bailable cases sections also in that. And
sure.
Today morning they were produced before the court, and the court, because it's the discretion of the court for which we cannot say anything. The discretion
sure.
of the judge, he has given a bail on that.
Sure.
And,
what the court decided to do is,
as regards the video which was issued by the police commissioner, immediately after the CM's address, CM's reply to a question in the assembly, I would like to put it straight. The CM's reply to a question in the assembly, Mr. Allu Arjun, he could have also maintained restraint. He has called for a huge press conference and started talking. When the matter is sub judice, a question is raised in the assembly, it is the responsibility of the Chief Minister to answer. He has answered. Where was the need for Allu Arjun to come and address a press
He's well within
media.
his rights to respond to allegations made against him as well. If the
It
Chief
is-
Minister
it
was
is in the
answering a
assembly that
query.
the CM himself has not gone. And the police department, because he has said that I just immediately went out as soon as the police said, soon after some time, that he has left the theater. Then the police, as you said, it is well within their rights also to show that what they are saying is not wrong. The police department has also given the video that what they are saying is also not wrong. Because if Allu Arjun
But the
has right to
timing of
speak,
it is all suspect. That's the reason. That it all comes on the day when this vandalism and this sort of violence happens outside his residence. And it's not just him that we're talking about. There are several other family members who also perhaps were inside.
it is, the vandalism is highly objectionable. It cannot be, a Congress party has no link to the vandalism which has happened at Allu Arjun's house. The Chief Minister has condemned that very, very, very clearly. And as regards the law and order at his house or law and order situation in and around the security of his house is concerned, they have taken care of that right now. But we cannot,
So
we
Rahula
cannot
Reddy,
see-
you cannot make political connotations on this. The Chief Minister was answering a query. The police was well within their rights to release this video. And in fact, when they did put out that CCTV and when questions were raised of what the intent was, the top cop actually said, now that's for you to decipher, to the media people.
No. Actually, it was Allu Arjun who has
Sure.
started the subject. If the Chief Minister has, he has been questioned in the assembly,
Sure.
and he
Sure.
Poonam.
Rahula Reddy, yes.
needs to reply to that. When he has
Sure.
replied to
Rahula
that,
Reddy, the
then
Congress
matter is
says
sub judice.
that there are no
main
political,
accused- one of the
there shouldn't
accused
be
is
any
coming
political
before the media
connotations to
and
what
he
has
wants
happened.
to
But
create
does
a
that cut
media
any
trial.
ice?
See, the political, the kind of comments the Chief Minister had to answer a query, maybe, but no query in an assembly answered for 1.5 hours, close to 90 minutes on one single issue. And why should you take it personal? You are running a government, or head of the government. We understand that the Chief Minister is bound to explain, being the Home Minister in the Assembly, but that should not create the further issues. That should not see. Even I agree to certain extent with Mr. Srinivas Reddy that the actor also should not have swiftly reacted and gave his version. Fine, because the matter is sub judice, and both the sides would have maintained some kind of decorum in this entire issue. Unnecessarily, now that this attack, where from this attack has happened, what provoked them? You tell me. When did it happen? This has clearly happened after the speech in the assembly. Then Allu Arjun's retort to it. All these things actually are creating unwanted situation in the city and law and order situation also. So all are equally responsible in creating such a unwarranted situation in the state. At least now the state government let wisdom prevail instead of supporting your own or defending your own acts. Now let the legal team of your government or let the legality take its own course. Let the police do a proper investigation, fair probe. If he is found guilty, punish him. But why is hunting?
And the investigation needs to happen against the police also, many would say, because the allegation is also that the police mishandled the situation, that they should have handled it better. But I'll get to that and I'll get Deshmukh Nigam in on that. But Kasturi Shankar also joins us on this edition. Kasturi Shankar, do you believe that Allu Arjun is somewhat of a soft target? He's being politically targeted by the state government there?
Well, I was the lost life, but now I think yes, the situation has deteriorated to a point where it's a tutu meme. So everybody is trying to clear their name, their responsibility from this very unfortunate incident. And at this point, Hyderabad is divided. I'm here. All of Andhra and Telangana are divided on political lines, on emotional lines. And personally, I feel the police and the government should start. I think it would be more constructive if they started focusing on more important priorities. But because for the past near 3 days now, this is the only topic of discussion. And frankly, people have started talking. They've started talking, why is this such a big tug of war between an actor and the state. Why is this even such a big issue? Would any other crime get this kind of a spotlight? So then why a huge press conference by the police? Why all this? So I feel like it's not doing any favors to the government, and
But Kasturi Shankar, the
obviously
argument that the state
the
government makes
opposition
is that just
making
because
it.
he's an actor or a celebrity, why should he get the long rope?
Yeah, but just because he is an actor, that you can ask the same thing backwards, right? Does any other criminal or any other accused person in any part of the state get a press conference from the police? Do they get explanations from the chief minister in the assembly? Why so much of focus on this particular homicide then? Why? So there seems to be something more than that just justice at play. I feel at least people, there are many conspiracy theories here. People are saying that there is a personal agenda, there is a political agenda, there is a cross-state political agenda. People have started talking so many ways. I feel it is time to let the police do its job, let Allu Arjun live his life, and let priorities be taken care of. There's a guy selling methamphetamine in every corner of the state. Come on, let's get some news about that.
So the state government and the police seems to be fixated on this particular case. But Deshwata Nagam, if there are questions that are being asked of the police's conduct or the local administration's conduct that night when the stampede took place, whether or not they were prepared enough to deal with a situation like this, shouldn't there be an investigation against that as well? The police can't be probing themselves. There has to be an outside inquiry that is conducted for impartiality, to ensure that if there was something amiss on either side, then all of it does come out.
Yes, police, you cannot be a judge in your own cause. That's one of the dictum of our jurisprudence. And therefore, if a police is investigating itself, so there will be, even if they are impartial, tomorrow there will be a questions raised with respect to prejudice and bias. And therefore, inquiry not only should be impartial, it must appear to be impartial. Therefore, some independent body or retired high court judge or somebody should come in, and in fact, it will be in the interest of the government of the day also, so that their name is also cleared if the police has done everything. Now, if there are problems with the police, if they have not performed their duty, I am sure the government is capable of pinpointing it, bringing it to the court, and the court can also here give directions to the government for an impartial inquiry, because police certainly cannot be, inquiring its own self. So that aspect needs to be taken care of. Otherwise, tomorrow the questions would arise that police was biased, they didn't want to investigate, and therefore they have diverted. So it is in the interest of the government also to have an impartial inquiry about the police and police's conduct. And if they have not done anything, their name would be cleared.
Srinivas Reddy, has this become a tug of war between the state government and the actor?
There's nothing
And not
of
so
that
much
sort.
about the crime?
There's nothing of that sort as a tug of war between the actor and the government. The government is doing its job, police is doing its job. They are trying to, they have, the case has been filed against the accused in the Sandhya Theatre issue. Case has been filed against the people who have vandalized. And we should allow them to do their job. And if the chief minister has answered to a query, there was no need for the actor to come out and address the media. Because the actor had addressed the media, probably the police wanted to clear themselves and they have released the video. So it is all, it's a chain of events which is taking place, which should not be done actually. Frankly speaking, something of this sort
It's interesting you say that it's a chain of events, but the chain of events started with the chief minister saying what he said on the floor of the assembly. But sure, fair enough. Fair enough. It is now a matter that is sub judice. The courts will have to decide whether there is any case against Allu Arjun if the charges that were invoked against him were excessive, which is what many legal experts believed back then as well. And is this really a political witch hunt that we're seeing against the actor? I have to leave it there. I thank you all for joining us here on this edition of Plain Speak and sharing your perspective. It is time for a quick break here, but on the other side, we'll get you details of what's transpiring in West Bengal. Our forces have nabbed a Pakistan-trained terrorist. That crackdown, though, has reignited the big infiltration debate and the repercussions of it. We'll get you those details.
MDH का किचन
But I will order federal workers to get back to the office in person or be terminated from the job immediately. And we will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon Musk. And no, he's not taking the presidency. I like having smart people. You know, they're on a new kick. Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 all the different hoaxes. And the new one is, President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. But Elon's done an amazing job. Isn't it nice to have smart people that we can rely on? Right? Don't we want that? He's done a great job. Our citizens, we're going to protect our citizens. But no, he's not going to be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe, you know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country. But the fake news knows that. No, he's a great guy, and we want to have him. Everybody, so many people are in this audience that have helped.
Donald Trump on Wednesday pressured his fellow Republicans in Congress to reject a stopgap bill that would prevent a government shutdown. The president-elect's intervention disrupts a bipartisan effort to keep the government funded past the end of the week. Trump instead urged Congress to pass legislation that would raise the debt ceiling, a politically difficult task. He also said lawmakers should strip out elements backed by Democrats whose support would be necessary for passage. He warned that Republicans who vote for the current package could have trouble getting reelected, writing, quote, "Any Republican that would be so stupid as to do this should and will be primaried." Trump ally billionaire Elon Musk chimed in as well, pressuring Congress to reject the bill and saying that those who back it should be voted out of office. Musk spent more than $250 million to help Trump get elected and has been tasked by Trump to prune the federal budget. Right now, the bill would fund government agencies at current levels and provide $100 billion for disaster relief and $10 billion in farm aid. It also includes a wide range of unrelated provisions, such as a pay raise for lawmakers and a crackdown on hidden hotel fees. It does not cover benefit programs like Social Security, which continue automatically. Trump said Congress should limit the bill to temporary spending and disaster relief and also raise the government's borrowing authority. The next steps for Congress were unclear as of Wednesday night. However, a shutdown at this time would disrupt a wide range of services, from air travel to law enforcement, in the days leading up to the Christmas holiday.
Dankeschön für alles.
Thank you for staying with us. In a major crackdown, West Bengal STF arrested Pakistan-trained terrorist Javed Munshi near the Indo-Bangladesh border. Munshi is an IED expert linked to the Lashkar-e-Toiba. He was planning to flee to Bangladesh. He is wanted by the Jammu and Kashmir police for terror activities across South Asia. Top intel sources told CNN News 18 that Javed Munshi came to Kolkata on the 19th of this month. He spent the day conducting a recce. The next day, he went to Canning to visit his brother-in-law. Now, earlier this week, STF teams in Bengal and in Assam had arrested two operatives from Murshidabad. They belong to the terror outfit called Ansarul Bangla. Meanwhile, a Bangladeshi national who is also an Ansarul Bangla member was arrested in Kerala. His name appeared in Bengal's voter list, raising alarm over national security. The latest crackdown on terror comes days after the Assam terror module bust. Now, top intel sources told CNN News 18 that the arrested terrorist Javed Munshi is linked to the banned terror outfit Tehreek-ul-Mujahideen. He was trained in weapons, in logistics and radicalization. He's visited Pakistan frequently during the 1990s, and it was over there that he was trained in IED attacks and making IEDs. He had confessed before the agencies about his plans of reviving terror in Bangladesh and Jammu and Kashmir, hand in glove with Hizbul Mujahideen and Lashkar-e-Toiba. Now, these arrests have triggered a war of words between the ruling TMC in the state of West Bengal and the BJP over infiltration. The BJP has claimed that there is a rise in illegal influx in the fallout of the TMC government's openly backing illegal migrants for their vote bank. The TMC hit right back. They said that managing borders is the centre's responsibility. Why is the state being questioned? The BJP then expressed concern over the rise in illegal infiltration, but TMC in its defence said that infiltration is a serious concern in other states as well, and the matter precedes politics. National security should be held to a higher standard. The back-to-back arrests have stirred a larger debate, the threat of illegal infiltration and subsequent rise in terror activities. That political fight continues between those two parties there, but this crackdown has raised issues about something much bigger, which is the country's security that could be in peril. On that note, slipping into a quick break on this edition of Plain Speak, but on the other side, we'll get you the fresh AAP versus BJP battle that's brewing in Delhi 2 months ahead of elections. Do stay tuned for that.
But I will order federal workers to get back to the office in person or be terminated from the job immediately. And we will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon Musk. And no, he's not taking the presidency. I like having smart people. You know, they're on a new kick. Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 all the different hoaxes. And the new one is, President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. But Elon's done an amazing job. Isn't it nice to have smart people that we can rely on? Right? Don't we want that? He's done a great job. Our citizens, we're going to protect our citizens. But no, he's not going to be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe, you know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country. But the fake news knows that. No, he's a great guy, and we want to have him. Everybody, so many people are in this audience that have helped.
Donald Trump on Wednesday pressured his fellow Republicans in Congress to reject a stopgap bill that would prevent a government shutdown. The president-elect's intervention disrupts a bipartisan effort to keep the government funded past the end of the week. Trump instead urged Congress to pass legislation that would raise the debt ceiling, a politically difficult task. He also said lawmakers should strip out elements backed by Democrats whose support would be necessary for passage. He warned that Republicans who vote for the current package could have trouble getting reelected, writing, quote, "Any Republican that would be so stupid as to do this should and will be primaried." Trump ally billionaire Elon Musk chimed in as well, pressuring Congress to reject the bill and saying that those who back it should be voted out of office. Musk spent more than $250 million to help Trump get elected and has been tasked by Trump to prune the federal budget. Right now, the bill would fund government agencies at current levels and provide $100 billion for disaster relief and $10 billion in farm aid. It also includes a wide range of unrelated provisions, such as a pay raise for lawmakers and a crackdown on hidden hotel fees. It does not cover benefit programs like Social Security, which continue automatically. Trump said Congress should limit the bill to temporary spending and disaster relief and also raise the government's borrowing authority. The next steps for Congress were unclear as of Wednesday night. However, a shutdown at this time would disrupt a wide range of services, from air travel to law enforcement, and the days leading up to the Christmas holiday.
Dankeschön für alles.
Take over, Elon. Yes, take over.
Hi everyone. Who was fist pumping after getting shot.
Welcome back. You're watching Plain Speak, and the stage is set for a mega Delhi fight. The battle is drawing closer. We're 2 months away from elections in the national capital. The Aam Aadmi Party is eyeing a third consecutive term, while the BJP is trying to return to power after 27 years. The two are now at loggerheads over freebies or welfare schemes. Arivind Kejriwal announced the registrations being opened for two of the welfare schemes that they have promised ahead of elections. One is the Mahila Samman and the other is the Sanjeevani Yojana, one for women, the other for elderly. The BJP was quick to hit right back at the Aam Aadmi Party with its charge sheet or the Arop Patra, alleging that the ruling party in Delhi had indulged in corruption and had made fake promises. So while we see this welfare scheme registration kick off here in the national capital, will sops or freebies dictate the Delhi verdict? That's what we ask on Plain Speak.
केजरीवाल जी की दिल्ली सरकार ने यमुना जी को इतना प्रदूषित कर दिया, बदबूदार, झागदार और जहरीले पानी को कर दिया कि वहां पर पर्व मनाना भी अब बंद हो गया। केजरीवाल जी 10 साल हो गए और 10 दिन रह गए 2025 आने में। यमुना की सफाई हुई क्या?
बीजेपी के पास ये चुनाव लड़ने के लिए कोई एजेंडा नहीं है, कोई प्लानिंग नहीं है। वो दिल्ली के लोगों को ये बताएं कि 5 साल में दिल्ली के लिए उन्होंने, बीजेपी वालों ने क्या काम किया।
Let's open this up. Anuja Kapoor, spokesperson of the BJP, Priyanka Kakkar, national spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, and author Shailesh Gandhi is with us on this broadcast. Priyanka Kakkar, let me begin by asking you. We've seen the registrations open for two of these flagship schemes that the Aam Aadmi Party government has announced ahead of elections in Delhi. But the allegation against the Aam Aadmi Party is that there is no money, you have no plan of where the funds are going to come from for this. And you did the exact same thing in Punjab, but you haven't managed to fulfill any of those promises 2 years into governance.
Poonamji, good evening to you, the fellow panelists and all your viewers. Poonamji, I think if a debt-ridden Maharashtra, which is under a debt of 7 lakh crores, can implement a scheme after copying our scheme, which we announced for Punjab in 2021, then a state, Delhi, which is in profit, can very well execute all its schemes. I will also say that, see, this is with respect to finances, and you asked me one more question. I'm sorry, I forgot the question. Can you repeat that?
Then in Punjab, you made similar promises, but 2 years into being in government there, you haven't fulfilled most of them.
Yes, I got it, yes. Yes, so no, it's not most of them. 2 years in Punjab government, after several years of misgovernance, we took over, and our priority has always been health and education. So we first took over the health sector. We ensured that 1,000 mohalla clinics were created and everyone got free facilities of healthcare in Punjab as well. Then we worked on the schools in the last 2 years, and 2 lakh children have migrated from private schools to state-owned schools. Now, it took some time, and we still have 3 years of our tenure remaining, as you would agree, and I can assure you that this is not something like the Pradhan Mantri Modi ka 15 lakh ka jumla. This is something which Arivind Kejriwal ji has said, and this will be executed before our tenure ends in Punjab.
But sure, you focused on education and health, and that has been your two focus areas here in the national capital as well. But speaking of the SOPs that were given to women specifically, something on the similar lines, what is being announced in Delhi as well, the 1,000 rupee installment that was to be given to women in Punjab, that still hasn't even started.
No, that is why I said, see, we are in government in Delhi for the past 10 years. Again in Delhi, like you rightly said, our priority has been health and education, and we worked on those two things first. And now we are in a position that in 2021, when we announced the scheme for Punjab, we are able to implement the scheme in Delhi. And I assure you that Arivind Kejriwal ji, before the 5-year term ends in Punjab, the scheme in Punjab will also be executed. But Punjab also, health and education was a priority for us, and we worked on that before. Now here that is resolved in Delhi, and we have announced this 2,100 per month, registration for which has begun today, and it is a joyous moment for all women, I would think, which should be celebrated.
Anuja Kapoor, the Aam Aadmi Party has come out with several of these schemes of their own. They've begun registration for at least 2 of them. The BJP has no plan, says the Aam Aadmi Party, that their list is not out, their manifesto is now not out, what they plan to do for Delhi is not out. Does the Aam Aadmi Party then have first movers advantage?
Jai Shri Ram, and good evening to all the viewers and to Priyanka ji too. I would like to ask Priyanka ji, who is sitting here, how do you consider this as a welfare scheme? Secondly, without the approval of the Delhi cabinet, finance department, energy, how do you put it out? Because that is where the manifesto, when we talk about, we are the people who talk to the ground, where the citizens are there, where the Delhiites are there. I do not know, I think you sit in AC only, because I am one person who is a cluster 7 Palika of Lal Bagh. We are the ones who have gone and stayed in the cluster areas and figured it out what Aam Aadmi Party has done. I have gone live and I've shown what you have done. So giving us jumlas to the Delhiites, and you're talking big on the shows, because that is where you belong. You just know how to speak. We are the people on the ground to show where Aam Aadmi Party has failed. You are talking about the welfare scheme, sir.
Let her finish, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Let's not interrupt each other. I'll give you your time to rebut. Let her finish.
Yeah. The welfare schemes of yours is the jumla. It is a freebies. Again, the manifesto which is going to come from BJP will take you to the grounds to understand how and what you have done. You are the ones who do not want the people to cherish Delhi. You have misleaded, and now you are leading the women votes also on the ground. Where the registration you are talking about, what registration are you talking? This registration is without opening the registration, you are giving the women voters the card. You are just going before the registration, you're going to the people's home. If this is a Delhi government scheme, why AAP is making it a party scheme? I would like to question you, because a Delhi government scheme comes with a Delhi approval, with the cabinet approval. So this is an AAP party's jumla where you're talking about. AAP is in power right now. Why are you not implementing these right now? Why are you waiting for your election to come out? What is it that is stopping you, Miss Priyanka Kakkarji, that you cannot implement it right now? And you're talking about Punjab, the Mukhyamantri Mahila Samman Yojana and Mukhyamantri Sanjeevani Yojana. What is this pension schemes you're talking? Where 80,000 people who already asked you, you were not able to give that. You talked about electricity subsidy scheme in 5th March 2024. 21st September 2022, electricity subsidy registration scheme. What happened to that status? Where is the electricity subsidy now? Because it is not there on the ground. Now you're talking about what is the funding situation of you? How will you fund this? Please tell me, where is the development? So all the time, the Aam Aadmi Party is not able to give you the funding grounds, and they talk about the.
So Priyanka Kakkad, is there a timeline then? Like we spoke about Punjab, 2 years in, those schemes have not been implemented because you said your focus was on something else. If that is the case with Delhi as well, is there a timeline? How is this going to be implemented?
Poonamji, I already answered that. The registration has begun today, and just to also digress and answer Anuja ji, this has already been cleared by the cabinet, madam. It's already been approved. We will try that we are able to roll it out before elections, unless the date is announced sooner. It is definitely going to come up after elections. But all she did was abuse Arivind Kejriwal ji, abuse Aam Aadmi Party. But she had no work to count for the BJP in the past 5 years. She had no answer to say that how was a debt-ridden Maharashtra state of 7 lakh debt. How was that?
Anuja Kapoor, don't let her finish, please.
She did not. It's all right.
She's talking something which does not make sense.
She's from BJP.
No, but if debt is a concern, that was a concern for Maharashtra too. You made a similar scheme in Maharashtra as well. So if the BJP does it and it's kosher, why shouldn't the opposition parties do it either?
Maharashtra is not Delhi. Believe me, Maharashtra is not Delhi. And it is being taken care by Modi. So the person who's sitting here, you see, their model. I have been on the ground, so I know. I'm telling you, I've been on the ground. We have seen what is there. Where we talk about development, these people, they now have started saying welfare schemes. The people who do not understand what is freebies and what is welfare scheme comes with development. It does not eat up the revenue. It comes up with the development. So what
but that same argument has been made against the BJP as well, and not just for Maharashtra. It started with Madhya Pradesh. That's where this women's scheme actually came from. But let me get in Shailesh Gandhi as well. He's been patiently listening. Shailesh Gandhi, as far as Delhi is concerned, it has been a revenue surplus state, but it seems like it's on the cusp of being one of a deficit state. Just recently, just last month, in fact, the state government asked for a 10,000 crore loan from the central government.
The truth is,
I can answer that.
Governments have got, all political parties have got into the game of declaring expenditures in terms of infrastructure, in terms of welfare schemes, etc., without showing how it will be financed in the next 5 years or 10 years. If a businessman sets up a plant and seeks a loan, he has to give a 5-year or 10-year cash flow to justify how he's going to repay his loan. Political parties don't have to do that, unfortunately. The fact that welfare states should provide basic human rights is understood and known. Therefore, I will not quarrel with the welfare schemes for education, for health, and for other things that are provided. In an ideal state, the difference between the haves and have-nots should be reasonable. Today, it is not. The poor are getting poorer and the rich are getting richer. That's a fact. Therefore, we need additional funding from such welfare schemes. The BJP has also announced a largely scheme in Maharashtra, and they believe that that was one of the main reasons for their victory. So I think that none of the parties can blame the other and say that you are making promises that you can't keep. 15 lakh promise was made by somebody some years back. These are jumlas. But I wish we came to a discipline where a political party that makes a claim that it's going to offer something shows 5-year, 10-year cash flow of that state or the whole nation. We have an annual budget over which we spend a lot of time, but there is no thought given as to how infrastructure and other things will be provided for. The debt to GDP ratio has now become over 80%, which is bothersome. It's assumed that we'll never get into a debt trap. It's given, it's as if just because you elect A or B or C. This discipline, I think Indian voters should insist on. Give us a cash flow of the next 10 years. Whether it's foreign loans, whether it's Indian loans, this is a discipline that's not being done. And the overall approach appears to be, let me get my next 5 years, after that, parvail. Probably I'll lose the election. And maybe someone else will have to carry the burden. This needs to change. But unless we change that, calling welfare schemes revenues is, I think, not a very fair thing. Welfare schemes are required unless you reduce the gap between the poor and the rich.
But how do you differentiate between the two? Is that line actually getting blurred?
It is getting blurred. There is no financial discipline at all. So you just announce what you want. You say 1,000 rupees, I say 2,000 rupees. That's the way it goes. And if I can get that money out of borrowing, it doesn't matter what happens to the state, what happens to the nation.
So are the state's finances, Priyanka Kakkad, then being held hostage for the promises that the Aam Aadmi Party seems to be making as far as elections are concerned? Priyanka Kakkad.
I'm sorry, can you please repeat that?
Is the state's finances being held to hostage there? Like I said, you just took a 10,000 crore loan last month from the central government. Perhaps after 3 decades or so, Delhi is on the cusp of being a revenue deficit state.
No, that is an assumption, I would think. There are no facts to back that claim. The loan that was taken is something that is a mandatory loan. It is a short-term loan. We've taken it once before and returned it immediately also within a year or so. So though that is excluded. But you see, when I don't get the high tauba about Delhi, when there are, which is a revenue surplus state, I don't get the high tauba about Delhi implementing a scheme when there are states which are in massive deficit, revenue deficit, in total losses. No questions, no eyebrows were raised at that time, which is rather strange to me. Also, this is not the first time. मैं तो खुल के बोलूँगी कि हमारी सरकार very proudly says that हम रेवड़ी देते रहेंगे. We believe that the first hak on the taxes paid by the citizens, the first hak on those taxes is for the citizens, and this has gone into several welfare schemes, several infrastructure projects. BJP does not give even free electricity even in one of its 20 states. Why are they in deficit? It's simple, because we save money on our projects. I recall I think of the 30 flyovers, there are about 37 that we have made in the past 5 years, but of the 30 flyovers that we made, we saved 550 crore. That was possible only because there is an honest government in Delhi, which does not fill its pockets, which does not take loans, which just gives it back to the government. We are ensuring this 550 crore reaches back to the people. So this is the inherent difference. If there is a political will, even BJP can do it. BJP is doing it, but it is taking loans. Today the country is in a severe debt of 200 lakh crores. These are all external borrowings. So no eyebrows are raised then. We are questioned and we are ready to answer also. But you will have to please ask,
in states where the BJP in states where the BJP is ruling and where there are certain deficits and loans that are being taken, what is the plan of the BJP?
I think I would start by saying about the Delhi too, because that is where they also belong when we're talking about the situation, seeing Delhi. As we're there on the ground, when she's just sitting there, she does not know. She's just sitting there. She's not been on the ground of the Delhi. The
Madam, stop getting
electricity bill
personal. I
she's
work on the
talking
ground too. I
about,
don't
the
need to tell you.
electricity bill she's talking about comes to 8,000 to 10,000. And when they talk about that, they are going to give you 200 units or the free and all in everywhere. Where you talk about the water billing, the registrating, the registration which they talk every time, the meter is not even been registered, and without a meter bill, how do they presume they are again getting
Poonamji, I'll give you a very
bill on the
interesting
water
ankara.
bills? And there is excuse me.
But
And they're giving a
Anuja
very,
Kapoor,
they're talking they. And moreover, you talk about Maharashtra. I think Maharashtra pre-budget welfare schemes unlikely to dent state finances, ICRA. So I think the things come to a stop and people forget that it is very easy to dent what Modi ji is doing. Modi ji is giving you 80 crore people the ration, which Arivind Kejriwal.
Sure.
Now, when I go to the
Why?
ration wala in Delhi, I task him, how do you give your ration?
but Anuja
without
Kapoor, this is
telling
what I
to
asked
the
you right at the
people?
start as
No,
well.
this
Does
is
the
what
Aam
I'm
Aadmi
telling
Party
you.
have
This
first
is what
movers
I'm telling
advantage in
you.
this? Because even today, when the BJP held a press conference, they
Ask
were
her,
more
900
talking
crores
about
was
the Aam
being
Aadmi
given by
Party than about what the
Lieutenant
BJP's
Governor.
vision for Delhi is.
900 crores, Poonam ji, 900 crores were given by Central to them. Have they used
Sure.
it for the beautification of the Delhi? Ask them. Where is the money? They've just kept it and doing for. They're giving eggs out of it. So 900 crores is still a down.
But I'm sure the central government is asking for an audit of what happened to that money.
Dekho, Poonam ji, what I am telling you, this is a very much fact. I am sitting with my homework done. I have
Sure.
worked on the ground.
Sure.
I know where I've seen. I can right now show you my Facebook live. I'm
Sure.
going to show you my Facebook live, and I will show you what they have done in the clusters from the Lal Bagh and all of the cluster areas. So I can show you a live work.
So let me rephrase and ask you this again. One last time, Anuja Kapoor. Is the Aam Aadmi Party's failure, as you call them, is that the vision of the BJP, or are we going to be seeing the BJP's vision for Delhi anytime soon? Because that's what the BJP seems to be talking about.
BJP's manifesto will give you the vision. The manifesto is been made carefully because Modi walks the talk. He is not a jumlebaz like Arivind Kejriwal who runs away and then he gives you a bathroom instead of a classroom and do all kind of scams, and then we have to give them the charge sheet. We have done that today through Anurag Thakurji. So what I am talking and giving it to them. That
So the allegations fly from both sides. The people of Delhi really are waiting to see what the vision of all parties and all stakeholders is going to be like. I have to leave it there. I thank you all for joining us here on this edition of Plain Speak. It's a wrap from my side. Anand Narasimhan joins you next.
Green Lamb Laminates presents CNN News 18 Primetime Studio.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narasimhan and we are coming to you live from the CNN News 18 Primetime Studios presented by Green Lamb Laminates. Now on Friday here on The Right Stand, we reported how 8 terror operatives had been arrested from Assam, Bengal and Kerala in a joint operation by the Special Task Force. They all had one common motive: how to create sleeper cells across Assam and Bengal and subvert Bharat. A free run to radicals in the neighbouring nation of Bangladesh has enabled the influx of illegal immigrants across the border.